Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. This is Dylan with Tucson Future Classics, and that is our 2015 Chevy Volt. "2015 is the final year of the first generation Volts, meaning this particular one got all of the mid-cycle refreshes and updates GM ever put into these. Things like improved battery control programming, better engine control software, a faster processor in the infotainment for better maps, and slightly higher resolution on that Bose premium sound system. All those little things cumulatively built into this final year first gen Volt. And this one's got 57,000 miles on it. All of its services have been done that have been reported to Carfax at Chevy dealers, and it's just in very, very good shape. I mean, fresh tires, the interior is one of the nicest I've ever seen on a Gen 1 Volt, and getting into the mechanicals on this thing, half of the battery is a buffer against degradation. We just got access to software that lets us see the entire driving history on these Volts, and this particular one, after 11 years, only has 10% degradation on the pack. It's at 90% state of health, which is remarkable for one of these. And even cooler, we can see and know that of its 57,000 miles, it averaged 103 miles per gallon over its lifetime. 38,000 of those miles were done purely electrically. Only just shy of 19,000 were done with the engine. So the way these use the engine as a generator splits up the power demand and makes them really, really mechanically robust, because the engine doesn't have to work very hard to keep this car moving down the road. Less than 60,000 miles is kind of a treat. But let's get you under the hood, in the trunk, inside, and out for a spin. The car is on, the hood is open, so the engine kicks on to a maintenance mode where it will idle even though it's in, battery only, so you can check on the operation of everything. So while I leave this idling, I'll walk you all through under the hood here. Engine's coolant reservoir is up there. This is the air filter here. You've got two coolant reservoirs here for the inverter, battery pack, and drive motors. Check your oil here, add your oil there. Brake fluid reservoir is up here. Underneath this is more goodies for that Voltec inverter and drive unit there for the electronic side of things. Under here is your fuse box, your positive jump pack, and the negative terminal if you need to jump this vehicle off. It's pretty simple underneath here, and the engine, predominantly being a generator, kind of just keeps both sides of the system clean and easy to understand. Popping the hatch for the back of the Volt here, you'll see it is really clean in here, and it has a lot of stuff that you don't usually see left in these, like the sunshade and cargo cover for the back cargo area. The mesh basket that can move to different positions is still in here. And even more remarkable, if I lift this panel up and I take this little guy, clip it there so it stays, underneath all of this, this is the 12-volt battery for the car, the accessory battery up under here. But you have the factory tire kit, which is an air compressor and some fix-a-flat goo, and the original Voltec 110 volt or 120 volt regular wall charger for plugging this in overnight. And that alone will bring this from no battery to full battery in about 10 hours. So you can kind of treat this thing like a cell phone. Plug it in, let it charge overnight, unplug it when you're ready to leave for the next day, and off you go. One other nice thing is that these do, as I remove more of these seats do fold flat and down. There's handles here, and they'll flip right on down. And this actually removes to make a nearly level load floor. And as you see in the back here, it has the anchors for the big child seats as well. Coming into the back seat of the Volt, I'll show off one of its coolest features, the fact that it is 2+2 seating. Now that means you've got bucket seats on all four corners of this for a 4-passenger seating. It kind of makes the best of the space that it has, because this central tunnel is pretty large, because that's where most of your battery pack is. Now, I showed you in the trunk, the child seat anchors behind the seats for the top tethers. Both rear seats have child seat anchor points under here and here, so you can get 2 seats in the back. And this one has the full actual center console armrest for the backseat passengers that does lift out and away. Usually when we get these Volts, these aren't in here, so this is really cool to see still around. You got a 12-volt charge port here, 2 cup holders, as well as seat back pockets, driver and passenger. Now I'm gonna climb in and I'll show you the worst case scenario for spacing back here. Namely, I'm 6'1", 270 pounds, and that driver's seat is where I sit all the way down, all the way back, and reclined to shoot photos and videos up front. As you can see, I've got some knee room. If I splay my legs out, it's actually pretty comfy for me here. I've got good gut room and good head room because of where this glass kicks up above me. So they did really try to take into account the size of passengers in the back. Now, I will say, turning this around, if you have a smaller friend up front and you're a big person, this side is probably where you want to be. Just small dude, small passenger, big passenger. The stagger just works better. But if you need to stack big dude behind big dude, I mean, this is very much a place where you could spend a couple 100 miles if you needed to. Climbing into the driver's seat of the Volt. Get it fired up, do its little animations. So everything you need to know about running this is going to be right here. Power windows and power mirrors are here on the door. Your door locks are right here on the center console. I'll get back to that in a moment. Here is the release for your fuel filler door, and this little guy here controls your center screen for your instrument cluster. It goes through all the little menus at the bottom, showing things like TPMS, messages. It can even, if you open this when you're in park, it'll show tutorials on how to use the car more efficiently and how to understand some of the features. This is a real-time power spread showing engine, battery, and electric motors. You can port navigation into it, and then you've got your 2 trip computers there. Moving up, pretty simple display here. On the right-hand side, this little ball moves up and down to show how efficiently you are accelerating or decelerating using, just electric power, blended electric and gas, and your regenerative braking. On the left-hand side, I've driven about 5 miles to get to my shooting location. I've sat, idling and running the AC. So it's dropped down to about 29 miles, but that's still at about 90 to 92% battery there. When I left the yard, it was at 35 miles. Up above is your fuel tank gauge. So that shows this has got just over a quarter of a tank of fuel, estimating 60 miles of range on that. Total mixed range is shown down below. And then obviously your odometer showing just under 57,000 miles is right there on the bottom right. On the wheel itself, you got cruise control and you got your radio controls here. Nice and simple there. And the only other interesting thing of note is right here on the left stalk. That picture of a dude walking with a horn. That's your pedestrian alert horn. So I'm gonna put it in drive real quick, roll down the window and show you. So instead of hitting the full horn, it's a muted little horn for, not startling people as you're going through parking lots if they don't hear you coming, because this thing is, again, predominantly in electric mode. Moving on to the whole center here, there's a lot to go over and it's pretty cool, but I'll start right up top. This little guy is an extra storage cubby with another 12-volt charge socket in it, and the springs on these are usually shot, so to see it lift up on its own is really nice. Now here in the middle, these are all haptic buttons. They don't click, except for these big ones here on the side. You just tap them. They go ping, and then boom. So the main menu here goes through everything on the car. Basically, you can access any feature you want from here. Everything from, the media, which has AM, FM, XM, CD, USB, auxiliary line in, and Bluetooth, to your climate control, your energy screen, nav, and all of the configurable stuff is right in here. Most of it is parroted down here, so it's doubled, so you don't have to go through the screen if you don't want to. Like you hit climate, boom, there's your climate control. It brings it up immediately. Navigation, same thing. Here's your full GPS built into it. Info will bring up the information menu, and then things like, even if you hit the little leaf here, this will show in real time a bigger screen where your electricity is going, charging rates, allowing you to schedule charging time for cheaper electricity, or tell it that it can charge at the full 12 amps on a portable charger instead of a reduced 8 amp draw. And then energy info just shows you your consumption for that particular trip. So this time I'm at 63 mpg because I've been idling and using everything without moving. And there's that lifetime average of 103 miles per gallon, overall 57,000 miles. Moving down, drive mode here. This is pretty nice. This is how you can access your 4 drive modes. See if I can hold this in a way where it doesn't strobe at me. This is my camera not playing well, not the screen itself. But you've got normal, sport, mountain, and then hold. And hold state of charge is the cool one on this. Because if, let's say, you're driving somewhere that has bad traffic, you know you're going to get stuck in traffic. Hold state of charge kicks predominantly to the gas motor, so it'll keep your battery percentage where it is until you go back into normal mode, and then you can, let's say, drive up to Phoenix on gas, and then you know you're going to hit bad traffic. Boop! Hold state of charge mode off, normal mode, use electric all through the stop and go traffic. Moving down, regular old Prindle here, park, reverse, neutral, drive, low. If you knock it into low, it'll give you a little bit more regenerative braking, which is nice because, again, more energy put back into the pack, less gas you got to burn. Storage pocket here, big storage pocket that actually goes all the way through behind here. Back there's a great place to keep a cell phone out of the sun to keep it from overheating. In the main center console here, you have got your auxiliary and USB inputs. You've got another 12 volt cigarette lighter style jack, and then a pretty good amount of storage in here. As you can see on both door cards, it's got the Bose tag, so this is the premium Bose sound system. It's got storage on both sides, and while this is very, very full right now, all of the books are in there. My dealer plate, some detailing supplies, and my 2 detailing rags are stuffed into that glove box, so got pretty good capacity. Slouching down a little bit to move you up. Usual fare stuff, reading lights, doors. These are your parking sensors here. This is traction control on and off. And you've got the usual GM OnStar suite here, and your 3 buttons up top that you can program for garage doors, gates, what have you. You've got an auto dimming mirror here, and these little guys do exactly what you would expect. They move, they pull out, they adjust, they do all the things. But enough sitting in it, let's drive it. All right, now that we're down in the parking garage, got all the windows open so you can hear everything that's going on. If there were any undue noises from suspension or brakes, we'd hear them right now. Squeaks, rattles, all that stuff. But really doesn't have any. And I mean, running as an EV, we know it's going to be absolutely whisper quiet. In fact, as I slow down here, I want you to listen very faintly. There are going to be a couple of clicks. I'm going to give it pedal here. I'm going to let off and engage regen. 1 click. Put power back on. 2nd click. That's the only noise you hear, and that is the electromechanical contactors switching from discharging energy through the motor to regenerating energy and putting it back in the battery by slowing you down. The one other thing that's kind of nice on this, it does have a backup camera and the parking sensors. So let's say we're gonna park right over there, gonna back into a spot, knock it into reverse. It's got a backup camera on it. Again, it doesn't like to play that nice with my cell phone, so the screen looks a little blown out and flickery, but it does have the predictive course lines that show you where you're going to go, and with those parking sensors going, it should pick up the little cables behind us. There you go. And because those little wires, it senses them and yells at you so you don't back into them. Getting up to speed, getting on the interstate, I'll floor it all electric all the way up until it has a really high power demand. So just getting up to speed there. Just a touch of regen braking. And as we merge into traffic, we'll knock the cruise control on and show you just how good and quiet this thing really is at a true West Coast highway cruising speed. So there we go. We'll get that set to 75. And we'll just sit here. Again, remarkably efficient, and this thing will run on pure electric power until it has none left to give. In fact, take a look at the average fuel economy projections for this drive. Just ticking up as we go down the highway on electric power. But yeah, I'm talking pretty quiet right now because I want you all to be able to hear, wind noise, road noise, everything as we go down the highway. But I'll shut up, shut my mouth so you can open your ears. Just pan you around really quick. These Volts are very, very good places to be. And even at the back with that split glass is pretty darn good. But yeah, we'll get onto some lower speed roads and show you how it handles around town in just a second. Off the highway, perfect opportunity to show off. If I go to drive mode and I put it into hold state of charge, you'll see the screen's about to change. Battery gets grayed out, gas tank lights up. So now that second bar shows the gas engine has now fired up and it is running as a generator to maintain the battery's charge and provide power to the wheels. As you can see from the bigger screen here, using blended power, engine to drive unit without touching that battery at all. Down here at the end of one of my favorite stretches of empty road, we're going to do a quick 0 to 40 to 0 to show you all that there's nothing hiding in the suspension or braking systems under full accelerative or decelerative load. So let's put it into sport mode. Turn off the traction control, just for fun. And in 3, 2, 1. $40. Right to a stop. ABS is great. No fuss, no muss, no drama. Getting on to some lower speed, rougher pavement stuff over here. I want to show, kind of a more usual use case for the urban, suburban, and city, neighborhood commuting and driving. Pretty rough pavement, pretty broken up, but the suspension on this thing does a really good job of soaking up these bumps so they got no clunks, rattles, or any sort of varied unpleasantness here in the neighborhoods. Even, let's just say you might not be paying as much attention as you should be, and a speed bump. Oh no! Crest a speed bump at 20. It really doesn't care much at all. And the nice thing is, even with a couple of big highway blasts and everything like that, spinning us right back around here, that MPG just keeps climbing. Like, you can see 18 and a half miles of driving so far in my shooting day today. 1 mile has been run on gas alone. Everything else has all been done on battery. So just a really efficient and kind of a hassle-free car. Just let it do its thing. You can see even after 18 miles, we've got 16 left on the battery. It's only drawn down about half of its battery charge. And that's with hard accelerations, high-speed highway driving, and this more urban and suburban driving for shooting. It's a good car. Back to the yard, wrapping everything up on our 2015 Chevy Volt. If you're looking for the best example of the first plug-in hybrid, here you go. 30 to 35 miles of range on battery, 35 to 40 miles per gallon after that, and a remarkably reliable platform that just so happens to be one of the best screwed together cars General Motors has made in the last 15 years. They're kind of a no-brainer. To make an appointment to come check this out, our contact info is linked in the description below, and our phone number will be on screen in just a second so you can more easily call or text us. As always, I've been Dylan. We'll see you soon.